Hello everyone, this is Cross. What I'd like to talk to you about today is my Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. This is journal entry number 15. So we have entered the Shattered Oblivion. This is a planar rift. It is from my cosmology that I've created. The Shattered Oblivion, closely related, the inspiration kind of coming from the Shadowfell. I wanted some things to be different. And in fact, I wanted my entire cosmology to be different because I just feel like I have more freedom when I do things like just create my own area. I did this with Forest of Sorrows. I created Forest of Sorrows. I've run a couple one shots in it now. But players go into it. They don't have any. There's nothing. There's not a book that they can read about it. There's not. Well, aside from being in game, you can read about it if somebody's written a book about it. But the point is that there's no preconception about what you're about to step into. So, I highly encourage it if you're able. Now, I use the standard D&D cosmology up until this campaign. However, my campaign worlds have always been unique because I wanted to be the authority on it, and I didn't want any player joining my table and saying, well, that's not how Waterdeep's run. Well, it is today. So it's kind of one of those things where, you kind of separate the authority, kind of take the metagame out of it a little bit. It gives you the ability to surprise players with some of the things going on where they're reacting to things properly because they don't know what's going on. Their characters don't know what's going on. And, that's cool. Now, after a few characters within your campaign world, well, maybe the player learns things, but at the same time, you can still kind of surprise them. So we're in the Shattered Oblivion. We basically have a out. We have this what he's calling an anti-ether cannon. He uses the term cannon. Claire is trying to call it a missile. In fact, it turns out it's a bomb, kind of. So this was kind of a storyline device. It's kind of like a Deus Ex Machina kind of thing. You give the players a taste of what these planar rifts are like. There's a thread about using this option. And in fact, Ashley is able to interface. She's already proven that she can interface with this magical technology. But she goes down and tries to start the bomb, and fails to do so. It starts the countdown, but she has to hold the switch. So again, this is do I stand here and hold the switch to end this rift, or do I go home? But ultimately, the players chose to see what Ashley had to say about it. She said, this is basically the first time I've ever had the ability to interact with the world and actually do something good with it. Now, she probably thought that she could get away. Unfortunately, she didn't. So essentially, we don't know now. I sent the player a message. She asked what her battery level was, and I said, the battery level is 0% and the display fades. Earlier in the story, Ashley had complained saying, I'm not backed up. Like basically I'm off the grid so that we don't get tracked. But that means that if my battery goes to 0, I'm gone. I'm basically going to die, and I don't want that. So yeah, it is. It was a heavy situation. I think the shock of it kind of determined what was. They there might have been a little bit of disbelief if Ashley was really gone. So I only had a few players this session. Now, my general rule is, if 50% of the players are missing, we might start talking about canceling the session. We were kind of right at that threshold this game, missing some, kind of key interactive players to kind of help push some things along. a couple of our spellcasters being missing. That's just not a good time for anybody. So in that absence, the players kind of, they were trying to explore some things and just kind of shying away from it. So, we tried to explore the cave and shied away from that. We tried to explore, some other things and kind of shied away from that. We went and explored the drow, kind of shied away from that. There wasn't a whole lot of party interaction going on this session. So when they started heading back towards the wagon, I gave them kind of one more chance to rest and basically do fireside chats, and they chose to press on and go ahead and go to the wagon. And so in meeting up with the wagon, I figured, next session the players are going to be there. They might be at the wagon. It's just a good time to call it. So short session and short video, I guess. It's just sometimes you just have to realize that you've attempted to kind of lure them into a bunch of different directions. They don't take the bait. Now, if all the characters had been there, we could have kept going on. But I really wanted that wagon, that reunite scene for all the players to kind of be there. And so that's where I chose to end it. So again, I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you guys are keeping track of these videos, and we're going to see you next time.